Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by the TAPOCO Lodge. Folks, if you've never been to the TAPOCO Lodge, you need to visit during the holidays. Right there is why. Their Christmas decorations are up. Really, it becomes a fairy tale type setting. A great place to stay during the holidays. Great place just to go up and grab a bite at the TAPOCO Tavern. Really, go see it for yourself. Call ahead and ask about their winter hours, as a matter of fact, the TAPOCO Lodge. All right, want to welcome in the next member of our panel who's going to tell me how I blasted Rick Barnes. No, I'm kidding. We got Mark Pancratz right here, former Vol coach. Thanks for being with us. Let's talk about the basketball team. 78-63, they get the opening night win over UNC Asheville, okay? I think if people are looking for the positives there, you're doing it without Uros Plavsic. Positives, John Fulkerson had a pretty complete game in the first one. Yves Pons came out and played maybe his best game as a Volunteer so far. Your takeaways from that opening night victory over UNC Asheville?
Well, I feel like we're going to have to do it in bunches. The team is completely different than last year, obviously, with the lack of interior depth. Ken Lamonte and Bowden take over the reins and finish games and not turn the basketball over. The newcomers, you mentioned Pons. The thing that this staff has done since they've been here is guys have gotten better year in and year out, and you saw some of that. Whether it was Pons, whether it was Fulkerson, Jalen Johnson knocking down a couple jump shots. But can this team defend inside? Who's going to be a playmaker? Look, we only get to the free throw line 12, 14 times. That's just a sign of our guys taking more perimeter jump shots. And so when you're getting against better competition, who's going to be able to break down a guy? Who's going to be able to get inside the paint? And whether they finish for themselves or make a pass out to an open jump shot, a lot of unknown.
Okay. Let's take a look at the week ahead, the schedule for the Vols. They got 2 games this week. Right there, Tuesday, 9 o'clock, Thompson-Boling Arena, Vols versus Murray State, if you say it right. And then Saturday at 5 o'clock, they're in Toronto for the James Naismith Classic, a neutral site game against Washington. Tennessee, of course, and Rick Barnes have a long history of recruiting Canada, so I don't think that's an accident that they're playing in Toronto there. They took that game. Let's take a look at this. These are some pretty good programs. NCAA bids since the year 2000. Tennessee has 11. Murray State has 7. Washington has 7. Thing about Murray State, they're not getting any at-large bids there. You basically got to win your conference. It's rare for them to get an at-large bid into the tournament. So 2 solid programs. Thoughts on the 2 games ahead this week? What should fans know about Murray State and Washington?
Well, Coach McMahon's an Oak Ridge guy from the local area. John Morant was with Murray State last year. That's why they went to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, top couple pick in the NBA draft. Yeah. 2 first-team all-conference OVC players. They've got some interior size. They had a 6'10" kid last night that had a double-double. It's going to be a tough basketball game for them. The interesting one will be Washington as well because of Hopkins is their head coach now. He was the head assistant under Boeheim at Syracuse for a really long time. Tennessee's attack against the zone has been the inside out, the high elbows, the blocks. With a completely different interior now, how are we going to beat the zone offense, which Hopkins will take from Boeheim at Syracuse, and we'll have to be able to counter that. We've done it a lot with Admiral Schofield or our power forwards or interior guys being able to knock down perimeter jump shots. I don't know if they have that skill set yet. Will we play 4 guards, even 5 guards? So it'll be an interesting matchup playing Washington.
I haven't talked to you since the Plavsic news came down. How big of a hit in terms of, we were talking about this being a bubble team, and you're assuming your 7-footer is going to play. We haven't seen him play. He hasn't played yet, so that was kind of a guess just to have a 7-foot body. Now you take him out of the mix, and you're going to have to play a lot smaller version of basketball. Your thoughts on what that does to the team?
And what's interesting in Washington, Quad Green, or however you pronounce it, the kid that transferred from Kentucky, point guard, actually played, I believe, in 9 games for Kentucky, transferred to Washington, doesn't have to sit out. But yet, Plavsic has to sit out even though he redshirted. So, but it's a huge hit. Interior depth, we don't really have any. And he's a good player. He can protect the rim. He can get out in ball screens, get up and down in transition the way that Barnes likes to use his bigs. So it's a big hit for the team, but I think we'll still have a chance to have a good year.
All right, Mark Pancratz, we got the open date next week. You're going to be back for a lot more basketball. It's not just going to be this one segment thing. You're going to be back for more basketball talk next week. We'll use it for the whole show. When we come back, a couple of us have been eliminated from the casino run, the Beat the House segment. A couple survived by the hair of their chinny chin chin. We'll tell you the 2 who survived and the 2 who fell away, and we'll show you the standings. Come on back on the Sports Source.